So recently I got these 3 mics. They're AKG C414 BULSs if you don't recognize them. I got them all separately and none of them had cases. Mic pouches are great but not very protective and not easily stackable in a mic locker, and they generally just get kind of annoying when you have a whole bunch of mics in pouches that you have to throw in a bag to bring somewhere. I had some of this stuff called Kaizen foam left over from another project I did recently, so I wanted to try that for mic case inserts. It's meant for tool organization, and I thought it would work pretty well for this purpose. Some foams break down into tiny bits over a few years and end up coating your mic capsules. The Kaizen foam reminds me of a type that I've had in a few mic cases here for a long time that hasn't really seemed to degrade much over time. The foam comes in a few different thicknesses. This one is 2 1/4 inches, and it's made up of a bunch of layers. The way it works is you cut the shape of your object into the foam at the depth you want, and you pry apart the layers with your fingers to create a spot for the tool to sit in. I got a cheap case that seemed like it would fit the 3 mics. This one is from Harbor Freight. It was $15, but with a coupon it was $10. I measured the case and cut 2 pieces of foam to fit in the bottom and the lid. After getting an idea of how I wanted to lay the mics out, I made a template of the silhouette of the mic. I traced it onto the foam and did a shallow preliminary cut with an X-Acto knife. Then I set a utility knife so the blade would be the right depth, and I deepened the cuts. Once that was done, I carefully pried the cut layers of foam out of the hole. You can see here I cut the template a little too tall, so I ended up putting a small chunk of the foam back in to fill the gap and adjusted the template for the next 2 mic slots. The mics fit in perfectly and will hold in place when the case is closed. There's just one issue. You can see here that the bottoms of the holes are really rough. Kaizen has a clever way to fix that. The first step is to deepen the holes by 1 layer. You can do this from the start, I just hadn't accounted for it. Take the chunks you had cut out from the holes and slice or pry the top clean layer off. This piece becomes a clean bottom layer for each hole. I used the foam I had left to cut a new insert for the old case I had for some Sennheiser 421s. Just like before, I started by laying out templates. The mics fit in perfectly, but since the thicknesses of the mics vary, the depth for the mounts is too shallow for the depth of the rest of the mics. The method to fix this is to deepen the holes, but only in selective spots. You can see the difference in how flat they lay here. Before the mics were sticking up out of the foam, and afterward, they lay much flatter. And that's it. If you have any questions, comment below. Lots of new stuff coming soon, so make sure to subscribe and follow me on Facebook and Instagram. If you have any things that you would like to see in a video, just leave it in a comment below and I'll try to make it happen. Thanks.